Hello, viewers. I hope you're doing well. It has been a while. So, today I would wish to congratulate all the Form 4s that participated and did their exams and received their results. There are those who are very excited now that they did well in their exams and are very happy. There are also those who are a bit disappointed because they didn't get the results they got. I have a message for the two. The first one, for those who passed and are very excited, there is the stress of choosing the right courses. Sometimes you may have chosen a course that you feel you need to change. You need to do a lot of consultation before you go back to the COOPS and apply for the courses you'd wish to get and pursue in your next level. Otherwise, congratulations for getting that exemplary result. I would also wish to address those who didn't do very well. They may have expected to have gotten very good grades, but today I just want to tell you it is not the end of life. Failure, you can exceed. We have so many people in the world today who never passed exams but they succeeded. So you have to sit down, go back to the drawing board, and come up with the next plan of action. There are so many TVET courses that you can get. And remember, the world is changing towards skilled labor. So as you make the choices, think of skills that you can acquire so that you can fit very easily in the society. I would also say congratulations. Don't feel that you are a failure. You have not failed at all. If you gave your best, that is the match that you could get. So don't regret and feel happy about it. Now, today I'm going to talk about boarding school versus day school. Many parents now are thinking about the whether to take their children to day schools or boarding schools. And I've been asked by many parents, what do you think about it? There are those who would wish to take their children to boarding schools. And I would wish to highlight some of the challenges that boarding schools offer. Having been a teacher for the better part of my teaching career, I've been in boarding schools, and I can attest to you that there are a number of challenges our children go through when they go to boarding schools. And I'm going to highlight a few of them, which I'm sure can help you towards making decision on whether to take your child to a boarding school or to a day school. Number one, the first major problem our children encounter. Like now we have the grade 10 children who are supposed to go to boarding schools. They have never been to boarding schools for the better part of their lives. And here they are introduced to staying away, far away from their parents. That environment, that changing of environment provides a lot of challenges to the child. And some of them, the first thing we encounter is homesickness. They always think about their homes. They miss their homes, and you see even in the change of their characters, they become anxious, moody, and they are very unstable mentally just because they have changed their environment. So as a parent, you should expect that the child will have some challenges in adjusting to the new environment. They were used to bathing in a bathroom. Some of them are used to warm water. And when they go to boarding schools, they are likely not to get warm water for bathing. Maybe they have to get used to bathing in cold water or struggling for water in taps and that kind of a thing. So sometimes they get that feeling of missing home once they get to a boarding school. But that one, I want to reassure parents, with the time they always adjust, and some of them begin to love the school environment. The second challenge that our children in boarding schools encounter is peer pressure. Peer pressure, since they spend more time together in the dorms, in the classes, they are likely to influence one another in terms of behavior, and some of them are likely to conform to pressure of various groups. They may join some groups that have very weird behavior, like we have those who have we've had cases of drug and substance abuse. We've had cases of lesbianism and homosexuality. They can easily get into such groups, cultism, And most of them enjoy breaking rules, and it is not out of their own desire, but it is because they want to conform to a certain group. So you realize that peer pressure is something that a child cannot avoid, especially at that stage where they are going to they are becoming teenagers. And most children who are teenagers would wish to conform to a group. So what are we going to do as parents to overcome that challenge? The first thing, talk to your children about the dangers of conforming to groups that are likely to mislead them. Let them be careful with the kind of company they keep. And as a parent, you have to find out the company your children keep. Try to ask them who their friends are so that you can easily know the direction they are getting. You can easily get the behavior of a child changing if the child has conformed to a wrong group. You'll always find the child getting into trouble every now and then. And if you investigate, you'll realize that maybe they are in a certain group and they tend to influence one another. So, as a parent, please be very, very careful with that, especially when you take your child to a boarding school. The third one is when you have a lot of expectations. When you tell your child, I'm taking you to a boarding school so that you can perform better, you'll have more time to read, you'll have more time to spend with your books, and also you will become more responsible. So you create a lot of expectations. And when the child comes to a boarding school, some of them may not meet your expectations. Maybe you expected them to improve academically, and when you go to the report forms, you realize they're not doing well, and you're likely to ask them why you're spending. Some parents even tell their children, I spend a lot of money in a boarding school so that you can have ample time to read, and you're not producing good results. In such a scenario, you realize that the child will fear even coming back with poor results, and some would come up with very cruel or crude ways of pleasing you and showing that they have improved. We have cases of children who attempt to cheat in exams simply because they want to get good results and please their parents, because the parents have set very high expectations. We also have other parents or other learners who decide to forge the results. Have you had cases of children going to a cyber cafe so that they can forge the report forms and produce and give results that are, they tailor their results and change the results so that the parents would think that their children are doing well, but on the ground they are not. So the best thing is to examine their progress. Be very close with their class teachers and subject teachers so that you can easily follow their progress. And once you see any kind of improvement, you ensure you encourage them. The fourth challenge that boarding school offers is cultural diversity. We have children from different cultural background, different environment. We have those who come from towns, we have those who come from rural areas, and all of them mingle and come to that environment. So you realize that it is likely to bring a lot of cultural differences. There are parents, there are children who have been brought in a different way, and they find that the systems there may not be similar to what they expect. There are those who have been brought up in a certain way, and when they come to school it becomes very difficult to adjust. We have children who are being treated so well at home, and they have house help, so they cannot do even some of the household chores. And when they come to boarding schools, they are required to do the cleaning, they are required to do various manual work, and they'll find it very difficult, putting them into a very difficult situation, and some of them may even be exposed to punishment. So it is very crucial to talk to them about them meeting different people, children, different learners from different backgrounds, and let them know how to adjust accordingly. Ensure that they are very close to their class teachers, because once they report to boarding schools, they are always attached to a class teacher and also teachers, various teachers in various departments who are going to help them adjust accordingly. And then the last challenge is now pointing towards the parents. Sometimes we take our children to boarding schools and we fail to follow up their progress. We abdicate the duty of our responsibility as parents to class teachers, to teachers, and then we forget that we have a very significant role of taking care of our children. We should become close to them emotionally and physically, especially when we close schools. I've had cases of parents when you try to call parents and you tell them the children are reporting home, you realize a parent is not even at home. And the parent tells you that tell the child to get the keys and go to the house. So the child, instead of being received at home by people, is going to an environment where she's very lonely. Others are even told to go and stay with their grandparents and they are not comfortable. They always look forward to coming back to their parents, meeting them and sharing their experiences. So as you listen to your child experiences after a boarding experience, please be very keen on the friends they have, on their encounters. Let them tell you about the experiences they have had so that you can also learn and talk, be very close to your class teachers. I've always insisted as a parent, you have to be a friend to your class teachers so that the class teachers can give you information about how the child is adapting to the new environment, how the child is making any progress. I think those are but a few challenges that they are likely to encounter. If you have others, you can write it in a comment. And if you can give more views towards the issue of boarding versus day school, you are at liberty to comment. Otherwise, you can share, you can comment and like. Thank you very much and God bless you.